The real issue started as soon as I turned off my cameras. See, the police, well, I had my camera on, they were nice. When I turned my camera off, it was a lot different. Let's see. I sent these links to everyone. The problem is people are allowed to destroy the things that they type. As a result, well, I got to take screenshots real quick. Ooh. Alyssa Rainwater, Brandon Ratner, Wallace Bauer, Sarah Bacon, A. Polly Dual County. Who is that? That's Polly Olson. Send it to Denver 7 and Angela Kurzmal, Sean Kurzmal, and Cami Jepson. I sent it to a lot of people. Got Priscilla here. She's in my videos too. Shauna Sinclair, Miss Kayla Peaches, Cara Rogers, Todd Ryan Case, Neil DiMaccio, Jai Rogers, Jerry Payne. I sent this shit to fucking everybody. Aaron Cockerham, Laura Nelson. I tried showing the truth every step of the fucking way. This one's only 5 seconds long. We'll play it first. Yeah, that one wasn't very long because I couldn't think of anything to say. This one is 16 minutes and 16 seconds long. So, there's a lot of stuff I didn't find out until it was too late. A lot of these people, the things that they should have told the police, but never did. I made these for like I recorded those things and put them on my YouTube. The things that they promised they would come forward about, but never did. I recorded those conversations and I put it on my YouTube. Each of these people who promised to help was too messed up on drugs or alcohol. They did messed up things and then played victim. They just want to cover their own ass right now. When I'm dead, though, each one of these people who lied over their pride, it'll eat them up inside. both of Amy's children who are with Rihanna. They'll think about the fact that I'm no longer on this earth. Because they didn't want to tell the truth. And it'll grate on them. And they'll think to themselves, I wonder if these other people told the truth. Or were they lying like me? Well, Rihanna, they were lying like you. You already know that about Lana. You already know that about Amanda. You already know that about Amy. And there's a lot of evidence that people will see. They'll type up Natalie Bollinger's name. They'll see the things that I typed. They'll see the videos of people like Brett Roloff and Kayla Trujillo, aka Peaches. The videos from Aaron Cockerham. From Shannon Alvarado. From Caramia. That list that I read off, people will recognize those names. They'll go, hey, I4. Weren't you in jail around that same time? Because I seem to remember your name being spoken. But that won't happen until I'm dead. When I tried to kill myself in January of 2018, they put my stuff in bags with tape that says evidence. My suicide note is the evidence. The evidence here. The thing is, if I walk off into the woods and die there and nobody finds me for years and years, it won't be a second thought. But if my body is found with the evidence present, they'll mark it as evidence and someone will have to take a look at it. People in these Natalie groups, they'll look at all the cruelty that I went through that they should have reported about and didn't. They'll see Denise M. Kelly talking about how Shelley Campbell, the woman that I tried to trust, how she and Ted Bollinger were working together to try to get Natalie put in prison. And Denise Kelly. They'll see on these YouTube groups, news channels, where one of Natalie's grandparents is on there, and her brother was on there. And the things that they said about the rest of the family, things that I told the truth about. See, when Natalie was still alive, people told her, oh, you won't do that. You won't do that. If you were going to kill yourself, you would have done it already. All of those cuts on her arm were screams for help. Every one of them, and I knew it. And I was there to help how she needed. All you You guys told her how to think and feel. By the time I'm done posting up all the evidence that I have to show here, you guys will realize that I tried harder than anyone to get help. And all of these people, from Christopher Weaver to, well, I can't say Christopher Tapp because he's too far gone now. Too many years of pain and anguish. But they'll go through these groups and they'll look at it just a little bit harder. They'll see the things that Carmia was up to, and they'll go, hey, Sean was telling the truth. They'll see what Denise M. Kelly had to say in these groups, and they'll say, hey, Sean was telling the truth. But just like with Natalie, they're not going to care till I'm dead. And the police aren't going to take a look at this stuff until they're forced to. Until they're forced to put it in an evidence bag, because it goes right along with the body that they're putting in a bag. And that's sad to me, because I just wanted to make the world a better place. And I got harmed for it. Harmed a lot. Each one of these people who talked over me instead of listening, they'll think about that. They'll think, maybe I should have listened instead of telling them how to think and feel. That's the thing about when someone's alive and they're suicidal. You blow them off, because when somebody's suicidal, they need help and they need you to listen. No matter what the problem is, be it breaking up with your wife or financial problems, it doesn't matter. It all comes down to you needed someone to listen and help. And they didn't. They didn't care how much pain you were in or how hard you tried. They're going to blow you off with those pretty words. They don't care how much they hurt you until you're dead. Natalie's mom didn't care how much she hurt Natalie until Natalie was dead. Just as my dad won't care how much he hurt me until I'm dead. My mom, her name is Angela K. Wade. Her and Ted Bollinger have a lot in common, except my mom's against guns. Both of them care more about themselves than they do about their children. Their children were just meal tickets. You'll see Denise Kelly talking about how Shelley and Ted were trying to get Natalie put in prison. And Shelley will think about that conversation that we had while I was in Virginia in October. About how Natalie and Alicia were trying to get her safe from Ted. About how I was trying to help. Alicia It will take a look at her sister's last post, and she'll look at the things that she could have told the truth about. Like it was her idea for me to stay behind the Cricket store in Chesapeake, Virginia. Bad people kill others. Good people kill themselves. They say I don't want these people to have my pain, but I can't handle it. And they could have made it all go away just by telling the truth. But between telling the truth to save a life and feeling that pain for the rest of their lives, because they didn't tell the truth to save that life. See, that's the thing, is I told the truth. I tried to get help. Well, people say I wasn't trying and tell me that I was lying and slander my name. I don't care how much it hurts because it's not happening to them. People see in these groups what Karamia did. But they're not going to care as long as I'm still breathing. See, Natalie didn't care if I blew my head off. Or she would have told the truth. Patty Boa didn't care if I blew my head off. Or she would have told the truth. Joanna Taylor doesn't care if I blow my head off. Or she would come forward and tell the truth. Miss Peaches doesn't care if I blow my head off, or she would have come forward and told the truth. But like I said, this is the one place that I came to die. Everywhere else I went, that is specifically what I went there for. Jamie was gonna take me to the mountains and leave me there to die. She just took her dear sweet fucking time doing it. I gave her instructions to tell the boy I was traveling. The hope that they would help me get the help I needed to defend myself against. You don't understand how much type of slander that was thrown at me. You don't understand the evil that people do over that. You don't understand that I had no choice but to speak out. Because I have a conscience. And it's not just my safety. There's still hope for a lot of people, but there will never be hope for Ted Bollinger. All right. Now, there's some comments at the bottom here. I got into an argument with quite a few people, except they erased their comments. So basically, just ended up being me talking to myself. This part right here, I'm arguing with Rihanna. I didn't call CPS on you. I called the police, and I'm fucking proud of myself for it. Oh, that's Amy Witcher, sorry. What you and Andrew did is gross. Your daughter told you that meth had molested her, and you let him go, forcing your daughter to normalize with a sexual predator. I'm not going to say I am sorry for turning him in. Your drug use and his drug use are no excuse for looking away when your daughter told you he molested her. I don't care about the marijuana. The cocaine and the meth is gross. I may not have the phone anymore, but I still have the screenshots. I am related to her by blood. Andrew is not, and I don't take child abuse lightly, especially sexual abuse. Angela Kurzmal at least had the decency to do her drugs while her son was at his dad's. You also blamed me when Andrew was called in for being suicidal. I'm not your scapegoat. I won't say I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I'm going to send those screenshots to all of the people in this group. The only thing preventing me from showing the police in Sydney those screenshots in person is the warrant for failure to appear. I am proud of myself for turning him in. I'm sorry you chose a child molesting meth head over your own daughter. I was arguing with a lot of people. I mean, shit, I sent this to like 135 plus people. See, Sean, that would be me. Priscilla Starbucks, Jacob Mann, Aaron Cockerham, Laura Nelson, plus 132. Oh, damn, I just hit the. That is not the button I was trying to press. It brought up the whole keypad thing. I tried to show everybody I could. Look at that. Plus 132. Sent it to everyone I knew. See? This one is what you did to me was wrong, Amy, but what you did to your own daughter is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. Brock Byington and Casey Smith both let you know about Andrew's meth use. You chose to look away. I agreed to watch your kids in exchange for the help I needed. You didn't keep your word because Andrew was on meth. Then you tried to say your marriage would be destroyed because my car was parked where the officer told me to park it for one night. I moved my car, but you know that's not why your marriage was in shambles. And that would be Amy Witcher, not Amy Spencer in this case. And then I was also arguing with Rand on here. We'll type this one. Amy, your daughter told you Andrew Witcher molested her and you did nothing. When you asked for my help, I helped you. You didn't keep your end of the bargain over a child molesting meth head, not caring about the consequences for your daughter, for me, and for your other 3 kids. To Rihanna, I typed, grow up. Who is the alcoholic who is hitting Amy Spencer's kids? That's right, Rihanna, it was you. We made an agreement, but you couldn't keep your end because you drink over a liter of rum every day. You lost your husband and both sons over your drinking. You also lied repeatedly and broke a machine at work because I confronted you about hitting them kids. Still, you were better than Amy Witcher. She let a child molester get away. I was babysitting Amy's kids and an alcoholic for 3 weeks while you pissed the bed multiple times, Rihanna. When you were 30 years old and pissing the bed multiple times a week, and trying to move two girls onto a registered sex offender's property. By the way, his name is George. And if I got the story right, Brianna is actually the reason that George is a registered sex offender. I could be wrong. There are major issues, and scapegoating doesn't make it okay. I admitted to messing up the trash and making a mess with the coffee because I did those things. But you have to be an adult and fess up to what you did rather than lie outright. Unlike you, I admit what I do wrong. Amy Spencer's drug use isn't my choice. Her boyfriend growing mushrooms at the house in Chapel wasn't my choice. Helping take care of her unruly children was something that I was happy to do. But again, you didn't keep your end of the bargain. Babysitting a 30-year-old drunk who can't even admit that I fixed your sewer, and who can't stop herself from hitting two little girls because she is drunk and pissed off. She can't see her boys, is pathetic. Ryan is an ass, but better equipped to raise his kids than you will ever be. You don't want me to tell the fucking truth? Kiss my ass. We're going to play another video for you, aren't we? That's right. Oh, this one's 15 minutes and 34 seconds long. We'll play this one. I have the nightmare about Natalie getting into that car accident, breaking her neck. Her head is staring right at me. I try to stay busy. There isn't a day that goes by that Natalie's mother doesn't think to herself, you know what, I should have been a real mother. There isn't a day that goes by that Alicia doesn't think about it. There's not a day that goes by that what the hell am I saying? These people are all drug use, they don't give a fuck. The thing is, Joanna Taylor Smith, she doesn't care how much I hurt. None of these people care how much I hurt, or they would have come forward. If they loved me, they would have come forward. All the people who did Natalie wrong in her life, you were literally doing it, that actually have consciences. They're going to think about that for the rest of their lives. It's easy for them to blame me because they don't want to admit that they did wrong. I admitted all of mine. The lady on the night before last, she did that whole blaming me for her predator, stalking her again. Blaming me for it. All of these people who played victim, at least the ones who claimed that they loved me, they're all trying to hide it. And they're never going to come forward. Whether I'm alive or dead. When I'm dead, they'll feel the pain. They'll do what it is that Rose does. Every single night. I needed the help that Natalie had. I needed Natalie to just call off the dogs. I wasn't stalking her. I was begging her for help. That's the thing, is that I just have to take the abuse because I don't have a family. Because I don't have anything of my own anymore. It was all taken away when Natalie died. I don't have a vehicle. I saved as much evidence as I could. What I really need to do, though, is get the ones where it's other people that are talking. And that's not this one. Let's see what else. That's one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. There's actually quite a few here altogether, but there's 8 shared albums. This is from October 23rd, 2016. This is the day I left Virginia. I typed, I didn't pretend to care until you weren't perfect. I don't choose to need help. Saying I need help doesn't get me help. Telling me to get help doesn't get me help. I didn't choose not to have a family. I didn't choose to have Tourette syndrome or to have panic attacks or to be autistic or be bullied and treated like a junkie. I don't even do drugs. I don't choose to not have help. That is not what I was trying to do. If you turn it, it does different stuff. So I didn't mean to turn it that way. I want you to be able to read all of it. If it goes too fast for you, just hit the pause button. Heather Kraus shared her first post. Childhood bullying and complex trauma. If you are abused both at home and school, you suffer tenfold. Children who grow up terrorized at both school and home were shown by research to be at an increased risk for depression, anxiety, and self harm. Studies also show that the ringleaders of bullying groups tend to have psychopathic and narcissistic traits. Alicia, Lana Engeline, So why do we normalize bullying as a rite of passage or an ordinary part of childhood when it leaves the most vulnerable children terrorized even as they enter adulthood? When the perpetrators themselves may be budding narcissists or sociopaths, it's time to hold bullies accountable for the cruelty they inflict. The earlier they are presented consequences for their behavior, the better. Kind of like when you tell your daughter that that boy on the playground hit her because he likes her. You're letting that little fucking psychopath get away with it. This is a memory from 7 years ago, October 22nd, 2012, at 8:11 a.m. I'm a loudmouthed individual. Some people take offense to this, but I'm honest about what comes out of my mouth. I think of women as lesbians, so I can be comfortable talking to them, not because they are actual lesbians. Everything else offensive, you can let me know. If I ignored what's going on, I'd be the bad guy. However, I'm quite astute, and I care because I care. If I write, it's about me. I can tell who thinks highly of themselves because they think this song is about them. Vanity, mother of lost souls. It's 1:45 a.m. I got a bunch of stuff I gotta do and take care of, but fuck it, so goes life. This is Brittany Louise. She is the officer who me and Miss Peaches were speaking about in one of our conversations. She is friends with William Barr. You guys might be familiar with the director of the FBI, William Barr. Same name. This is Jessica Martindale's husband right here. I suppose I'll have to hold this one up the whole time. This is William that I know. He used to be an officer. I used to have a great deal of respect for the man, but he has taught me not to. Both of these officers know each other. We have mutual friends in common. This is Aaron Mayville. When my friend Danny was dead behind the pedestrian shop, this is one of the guys that was there. This is Caroline. She knows about quite a bit. This is Audrey Jones. She knows me from Starbucks. And like a lot of people, I'm cut off from these people because of Facebook bans. Facebook bans for speaking out, for exercising my First Amendment right. First Amendment. Not the third, not the fifth, not the ninth, not the 13th, but the very first. There's a reason that I speak out. There's a reason that I fight this fight. While Natalie asking for help, and she got it, was construed as getting help. When I asked for help, it was twisted as if I were stalking. I don't stalk people. I will harass them. I see no problems nor issues with that. The right thing should have been done, but you can't make police do the right thing, not without required body cameras and access to them. Taking advantage of a disabled person who can't defend themselves is nationwide. You think you got it bad as a black man? Homeless people got it worse than you do. And you know who's got it worse than the homeless? Homeless minorities. So if you're a black man in the house, count your lucky stars. You're more human than I am. You're more human than Aaron Mayville will be treated. Now, there's a lot of people who wanted to help me out, but because of the harassment and the slander and people going around at every corner to prevent my words from being shown, to prevent the truth from being shown, to prevent me from even going to my own court dates. Everything was done to prevent that evidence from being shown. And I have done everything I can to try to find an outlet where I can show all of it. The problem is that ever since the law enforcement got a hold of my Facebook and got a hold of my YouTube, got their hooks in way back in January of 2018, yeah, getting a hold of people who are trying to help me has been a pain in the ass. I want my life to be over because of the things that I've had to endure over this slander. The mass quantity of harassment that I've had to endure because Alicia Michelle Bollinger doesn't want to tell the truth. I looked up the name Alicia Bollinger, and look at this, right there. There's Alicia. Yep, and she's pretty. You see that? She has more rights than me because of that. Here's another one from her missing persons poster. It was this woman right here, in specific, in Virginia, who invited me to go do all the fun things that were later used to try to pretend like I had stalked them. Alicia Bollinger belongs in prison. Now, she could come forward and tell the truth, but no, she's going to hide behind her looks. She's going to hide behind her sympathy because she's so pretty. The fact is, she's a junkie. She's an addict. She's mentally ill and doesn't care who is harmed. Not even a little bit. Her mother isn't much better. Her mother chose alcohol and men who beat her over having her own children. Here's her twin sister, Natalie, who was killed. She was my best friend. But you know what? Because I did as she asked, I was treated like shit. Life ain't a bucket of fucking tomatoes, people. It's not spaghetti sauce. It's a lot messier than that. Natalie's dead because the cops wouldn't do their jobs and because Natalie herself would not come forward and tell the truth. And my predators all got to get away with the things that they did because of the slander by this young woman in specific, and this young woman in specific, as well as Rose M. Kelly, Kara Johnson, Kara Miles. Then there are people like Will here, who used to be a police officer. When it all comes down to it, though, he's a coward who thinks he's going to teach his children to be a better man than he is. You can't do that. You have to show them by example. If you can't show them a better man, they won't be better men. It's time to stop all this BS. But that's not going to happen until the real predators are taken down. This man right here could see to it that many of these predators are taken down. Problem is, he's a coward. This is Edward Snowden. This man has been speaking out about many of the things that I speak out about. He won't come back to the United States until he can get a fair trial. I can't get a fair trial, and I can't leave the United States, so this man is more protected than I am. His words mean more than mine do. Why is that? People like to say don't compare yourself to others. Well, with all due respect, in the interest of equality, you really should. You should compare yourself to others. You should see what it is that you have that others don't. Whenever you say you should do this and you should do that, do you ever stop to ask yourself, does this person have the means that I have? Does this person have access to the things that I have? What are they having to go through that I'm not? What roadblocks and obstacles could possibly be in their way that I don't have to encounter? Do you? Right there, keyword is whistleblower. I'm blowing the whistle loud and clear. I am not hiding it from anybody. It's because on it says, Edward Joseph Snowden is an American whistleblower who copied and leaked highly classified information from the National Security Agency in 2013 when he was a Central Intelligence Agency employee and subcontractor. You guys have probably seen that guy before. Sorry, it's pretty blurry. Wipe it with my thumb. Oh yeah, I got my graphics all the way down on this. That way I can hold more evidence. Because unlike William Barr, I'm not a coward. Afraid, yes. Coward, no. This is Brittany Louise. She is the officer who gets started over. Here you go. This is Jacqueline Martindale. This is Justine Martindale. They are both sisters of William Barr. Well, they're his wife's sisters. Her name is Jessica Barr now. It used to be Jessica Martindale. I went to them for help 4th of July of 2018. Well, for the 4th of July celebrations, which is obviously before the 4th of July. Justine said that she was going to help me if I came back the next day. And that the next day, obviously, was when they had the 4th of July thing in town and everybody's out there blowing rockets off and stuff. I think it was like the 1st or the 2nd of July. Because Justine didn't keep her word. She literally fucking led me on that she was going to help me. And then she didn't tell me all day long. All day long. See, she told me to come back the next day and she would help me. And then all day long, she didn't bother to tell me that she wasn't going to help me. Now, William Barr let me know that her family told her not to help her. Rick Martindale, you're a bitch. Decent people don't do shit like that. Oh, damn, there are a lot of them here. Matter of fact, I might as well just click through them. Bo Prince, Kim Jepsen, Brandy Eisenbart, Holly Howell, Bo Hodge. We got a lot of friends in common. All right, these people. God damn it. Sorry, I'm trying to show it. All right. On the very far on this side, we'll go from this side across. That's Jessica Martindale. And then next over is Justine Martindale. I'm having problems getting it to focus. Next over is Jackie Martindale. Next to her is Lori Burles. Next to her is Pam Martindale. I probably ought to increase the pixel quality or whatever. Here's Rick Martindale and his wife Pam. They met at the Grizzly Rose in Denver. The country western bar. It's closed now. See, while these people didn't pay no goddamn attention to me or anything I had to say, which shows that they don't actually care. I actually do care about these people. I actually did listen to their stories. Lori Burles used to call me Green Shirt. She used to date Josh Martindale, but Josh Martindale and her had a stillborn baby named Anthony. He's buried up at the Chapel Cemetery. This is Lori's wedding. Those are a bunch of Martindales in the picture, and guess what? She wasn't marrying Josh. That's Rick and Pam's son, and Jessica, Justine, and Jackie's brother. No, he got married to a Maxim magazine model. Of course, Josh Martindale was. This video. All right, this video is on black churches and white churches. This is a good one. When I was in Washington State in the 90s, I went to a Foursquare church, and it was mostly black folks. They lived smack dab in the middle of a minority neighborhood in Tacoma, Washington. And I loved going to church. I loved the atmosphere and I loved the people. But my dad got drunk and beat me up a few times over an F in PE. How stupid. Other than that F in PE, I got straight A's. So I went to Chapel, Nebraska, and I went to the Chapel Assembly of God. And it was culture shock. I didn't know shit about white folk. And my first day in that church, I realized that there were KKK members that were members of the congregation. Look up Chapel, Chappell, KKK, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Nebraska's largest collection of KKK memorabilia was found in where? The attic of the county prosecutor's office. Lovely, right? I was bullied to the point that I was actually attempting suicide. Bullied by the police. Bullied by people who pretended to be my friends once. Am I my brother's keeper? I certainly am. We don't live on planet Solo. A lot of people keep telling me about how they did it all themselves. They've been with somebody their entire life, never been without a relationship. When they break up with a dude, they've already got another one lined up. And these people tell me they know what it's like. No, you don't. I have seen racism on so many different levels, and I get to hear about how black people can't be racist. Well, with all due respect, I grew up in the system and I know different. No different. Now then there's the sexism that goes along with the racism. Like women can't be sexist and minorities can't be racist, right? I was beaten up for the color of my skin more than any minority I've ever met because I grew up in the system. Girls are mean. All of them? No. Of course not. But if you don't do what a vindictive woman wants, she will twist and contort and destroy your life for entertainment. When somebody's suicidal, you call the cops and they drag them off to a nuthatch and inject them with drugs. That's not what someone who's suicidal needs. They have actual reasons for being suicidal. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's financial problems. So, let's say they're $600 short on rent. They're going to lose everything that they busted their ass for their entire life. And what do? You lock them up in an institution for a week. They're $600 short of rent. And you're going to spend how much taxpayers' dollars? About $1,000 a day. That's $7,000 for them to be locked up in an institution over the money that they don't have and the fact that they're going to lose everything. And while they're stuck in there, because their loved ones, don't give a shit enough to find out what's going on, they lose everything anyway. And then they get out and they commit suicide. When somebody's talking to you about being suicidal, they're trying to get your help. But every time you talk over them, you show them you don't care. How they feel doesn't matter. What matters is how you want them to feel. That shows how selfish you are. I speak out for a reason. I'm not going to feel ashamed for the things that I've done in the last 2 years because I did them out of desperation. Hundreds of people lied to me outright. Yeah, Sean, I'll help you. And then I get there and it's all about them. And I have to stop and make it all about them too. I need their help, but I'm not getting their help. And now I'm helping them by listening to them for hours and hours and hours and hours every day. Life ain't what it seems. And then there's the idea that because of somebody's age, it must be okay to bully them on the internet or in real life. Because of their gender, it must be okay. Because of the way that they look, it must be okay.
Walter.
We got kids in the United States being bullied by teachers to the point that they're committing suicide. You say, hey, if you got a problem, go to the police, or go to a teacher, or go to your parents. Then you go to the police and they blow you off. You go to a teacher, they blow you off. You go to your parents, they blow you off. Or even worse, they take part in the bullying. You're damn right I'm going to speak out. I don't want nothing to do with your God. If your God says it's okay because of someone's age, because of their gender, because of their skin color, they must deserve it, you are out your damn mind. Black people can't be racist? Bullshit. When I was growing up in the system, I wasn't beaten up for having an attitude problem. I wasn't beaten up for making racial statements or racial slurs. I was beaten up because I was white, called honky and cracker, and ganged up on, sometimes 5 or more on one, because I'm white. Ganged up on by women and their boyfriends or husbands or their druggy friends, because I didn't do what they wanted. Like with Lana Engeline. I didn't want to have sex with her, and I don't. I still don't. I'm not interested in having sex with that woman. But because I didn't, she didn't want to understand about Natalie or how I was feeling or the things that people were putting me through. What she cared about is that she was rejected and she was going to get her fucking revenge. Fuck the police. As far as Christians go, Christians are the reason that I don't go to church. Christians are the reason that I don't believe in a God. Christians going around treating people in a fashion that they don't want to be treated in, but it's okay. It's okay because these people are a different religion, a different skin color, a different gender. They're not the right age to be bullied. Oh, well, you know, you're over 18 now, so your disabilities just magically went away. And you're just making excuses. And it's okay for me to bully you. It's okay for me to blow you off and to treat you like trash. It's okay for me to say things like, oh, well, you're not suicidal, otherwise you'd have killed yourself already. That shows what a shitty excuse for a human being you are, Brandon Jepson. And Stephen McMillian. The things that I've had to endure over the last 4 years, at the hands of the police are fucking disgusting. Alright, this video is on black churches and white churches.
Alright.
When I was in Washington State in the 90s,
Pause this. I know I was gonna go to some where other people were talking, but I'm actually really tired right now. I'm exhausted from looking at it and listening to it. You know what the funny thing is about sending those letters to Rand and Roland? I didn't even know he was going to be my judge. Fuck the police. Fuck the criminal justice system. It doesn't exist. It's about scapegoating the poor, and that's fucking it.